Alright guys, so now I'm busy with the driver rear compartment divider, and it also acts as part of the rollover bar, or strengthens the rollover bar. Generally what I would do is I would take this and then sand it all down, fiberglass it, get it super glossy, then make a mold. The problem is that I'm not sure if the next tub I make will need that same divider or need something different. So just a rudimentary way of making it is we took some polystyrene, we took the design that we've got, the general this area here, and then this piece I made sure to cut out exactly so that the seatbelt mounts are perfectly flush. This section going down has no real material effect as long as it's within a certain length, and I think that length is 33.5, so I'll just give you an idea of what it will look like there, and that will go down. So what I'm going to do here is I am busy mocking this section up. This will have a peel ply over it, and then I'll make the first layer of skin that will actually bond into the tub. Then from the back side of this thing I'll remove this, and then I'll do the proper layer. So yeah, something different, but kind of eats me a little bit because I like everything to be perfect, but this will still be pretty good, I think, I hope. Let's see. Okay, so what I've done now is mask this all up so we don't get any resin on the freshly sanded carbon. And then what I did is I mocked up the fuel tank, which obviously is still in the US and hasn't arrived to South Africa yet, thanks to the virus that we shall not speak about. So this is the fuel tank, and I've obviously made it slightly bigger, and I'm just going to get in there, you can have a look. So that's where the fuel tank sits. Now, this divider that sits here, if I just take this piece here and put it down there, gives you kind of an idea of where the divider would sit. So the angle of the divider goes down, and then there's an inspection hole here, which allows us to pull the tank in and out. So make life simple, pull the tank in and out with the bladder, everything inside of it, instead of just having a separate bladder that sits inside the enclosed area there. And if I come this on, you can see there, that was have quite a bit of space in there. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Alright guys, so I've now laid up this divider. It's been quite a lot of work, a lot of measuring to get it right, tapers so that the fabric drapes correctly. So let's talk you through it. So this is a piece of polystyrene that we've now shaped, and I've just put some normal extra sticky masking tape on the polystyrene, and then I've laid it with some peel ply. So the peel ply kind of doesn't go straight into the edge, because the carbon that I'm going to now lay will go into this edge here as the first stage and just be kind of flush there all the way around. And then this is the foam core, very similar to the foam core that you used in the Infusion, a little bit stronger, or just a higher density, not so stronger. So the idea is now that we are going to lay the carbon fiber on here, on the actual tub, and shape it into these corners all the way around, okay, all the way around the edges, and then all the way up here, and then wet that out and do like very similar to the tub. We'll do about 5 layers, 6 layers of carbon, about 2 layers of Kevlar, and we're going to be using a few layers of the woven titanium carbon, and that will be ultra strong for this area here. And then once this is done, this hole will be completely bonded inside here, but this back section here will actually pop out, so we'll pull this section out. Now the reason we pull that out is because the seat belts actually mount, or the harnesses mount into this section here. It's flush. The reset for the headrest goes in here, so you can see the headrest sits in there. And the whole idea behind this is that we get a little bit extra thickness on the foam that will allow the absorption of impact, and so that gives us an extra 40 mil there. So the foam will be around 60 mil thick. That gives the deacceleration that occurs here. Okay, so that's what that's for. Then once this pulls out, then we put the aluminium inserts on the back of this. That's why we're not doing it now. and then I lay up the carbon on the back side of that. So in total, we should have around 10 layers of carbon fiber on here. This will probably be one of the strongest sections of the tub for two reasons. Number one, because we're using the woven titanium carbon, we're using a woven aluminium carbon, and we are using some Kevlar in this section here. So let's see how it goes. So guys, we're taking some time out on a Friday evening to start the layup. So obviously there's aluminium inserts here. So again, we begin with the fiberglass, the woven fiberglass. And to make things exciting, boom, 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 finally getting to work some more with this beautiful fabric. It's a little bit heavier, but amazingly strong. How beautiful is that? You can see there's some of the bits and pieces of wire that come out. So yeah, so I reckon been busy now for about 2 hours, so probably another 4 hours on this section. And that's the tub facing upwards so that I can work in here. Anyway, let's see how it goes. The nice and solid. We've got the little recess that we worked into the mold. So this basically is as the seat pan is thrown, and as Caleb sits in the foam to make the seat mold, the seat will anchor here, so the mold will actually push in there. Just small things we try and do. Over here we cut it, and we're just gonna put a nice thin bead of glue in there just to finish it up nicely. And then if we go to the back section now, you can see it's finished in there. It's quite dark in there. I'll try and get a better photo now. There we go. So now the back section is finished. Got all the space we need. And that's quite a lot of space in here. You can see. So yeah, it's coming together. Sneak peek. Coming soon to you is front wing is being built. Should be finished by next week sometime. So what I did here is I took masking tape in the area where the rollover bar was going to be positioned, and I layered quite a few layers inside there just to give myself 0.3 of a mil, 0.4 of a mil, slight spacing. I then took peel ply, I put the peel ply on the inside and laid 3 layers of carbon fiber and then peel ply again. And the reason for that was so that I could create the perfect shaped hoop, and then everything else that I put onto that, the outside areas would remain perfect. Okay, so I've now trimmed the rollover bar. And not an ounce of movement. Nothing. Oh, and when you cut with carbon, I use old pair of motorbike gloves because it just works so much better than the other gloves, working gloves. But yeah, always wear a mask, and that's the rollover bar. It's 6-7 layers thick. I can't remember exactly now. I think it's about 8 layers thick. You can see how thick it is there. Okay, so the rollover bar is now in. Fits kind of like a glove, so very happy now. So now I can start doing some trial fitting for the fire extinguisher. Alright, so we're far away from installing the fire extinguisher, but I don't want to not plan. And so really what it comes down to is making sure that from a driver comfort perspective, the legs sweep over nicely to get down into the bottom of that tub area there. You can see over here, around about here onwards, is where the pedal box would be sitting. They're all custom made, full carbon fiber pedal box. So yeah, so this is basically where I think we're going to be. I'm going to bring Caleb, make him sit, do a seat fitting and make sure it works. The hose will then come out here, come up along the edge here, along the rollover bar, and then there'll be, here's where the steering column's going to come out and go down there in between the steering channel to the steering rack, which will pretty much be dead straight from here. So there will be a nozzle around here facing downwards onto his legs at that angle, and there'll be another nozzle facing this way, facing towards his chest area. So it'll spray this way and the other one will spray that way. Then obviously it'll run along here. Excuse the terrible camera angles, and we will run it there and run it out. And so that's really the concept at this stage. All right, so we're going to quickly try out Caleb inside the tub. We've got Caleb will kit it out. Okay, jump in, boy. Okay, so you're going to go lower, boy. Head's going to be much lower. It's almost like a lying down position. Okay, look up at me. Okay. Okay, let's check the legs in there. Got loads of space, eh? Mm. Remember, you'll be slightly raised because the seat will have padding on the inside. Mm. All right. This is the first section that we made up. Originally I was going to take this, and then I had made a flat carbon bar or plate. Then we were just going to cut it out to the same shape as this, and then take it and just glue it all in together. After doing some more homework, and also just looking at some reference photos, I decided this is kind of a better look and will be stronger, and you can see it's nice and thick there. So that's what it's going to look like now. So this is going to be a little bit of a tricky layup, because obviously you've got to lay it on without compromising the outside shape, and we've got to be able to get it around the edges and still make sure that it's nice and solid around this corner, because all these little curves and these little hangovers and things like that will give it more strength. So yeah, and then we're going to lay a couple of extra layers over here and just cut it straight through and allow the hub to move up and down through here in this range. So that's what we're trying out. We're going to see if it works. There'll probably be about 4 to 5 layers of carbon on the inside, on the outside. So it'll be 8 layers in total. And I just got this little bit of an edge so the carbon would fall. Just use the little handy router there to get it right. And that's it. See where it ends up. Alright, so the rollover hoop is now laid up. It's nice and thick. So this is still the original piece that we always made it nice and solid and firm. And then we did the layup. So this is 5 pieces, 4 pieces. And we made sure that we rolled them all over. And I trying to get the look to be good, because you're going to see this piece inside the car. So let's see what it ends up looking like. Okay, so this is all now in. Very happy with this. And going to infuse this, and now this will be the rollover hoop finished. Okay, so the rollover hoop has now been persuaded to get into place. Didn't take much, if I'm honest, but yeah, it's now in there. And if you look from the back section, you'll see where all the mounting will be for the steering collar. We made our own carbon fiber tube that's 3mm thick and got Garth Bergstrom from GPE Engineering to machine it down for us. Alright, so here we have the carbon fiber pipe that I just made and got it machined down on the CNC lathe today, so that's all done and dusted. Here is the housing that we've designed and manufactured and CNC'd and cut. And you can see we've got these ceramic high-speed pencil bearing in there, and that pushes through like that, and that'll probably sit about so. And then this piece will sit like this, so these two will mount into the tub like that, and the fire extinguisher end will mount over there. So it will spray towards the driver, and this will mount and be adjustable. And yeah, you can see it moves beautifully, no issues at all. And this is one of two. So we've got this long section, and in the middle here we have a tongue and groove collapsible section in case something does penetrate the tub, that this pipe doesn't impale the driver. So yeah, that's what we've done. That's what it looks like. And that's where we're going. Okay, so I want to make a hoop, a ring. So I'm going to make it using the 280 gram. It'll be like a 1.5 turn, and this will be the other half of the turn. And that will be going into here. So we'll glue this in here. So when I cut this, I made sure that we had extra space, and we'll be gluing it into the core here, and then doing the aluminium insert 1, aluminium insert 2, and the countersunk washers will go in there. So that's what we're busy with now. this in there. And obviously the holes are quite critical because we've got these aluminium inserts that go in each side. Now, what you could end up doing is taking this and then putting it, making a jig out of it, and then putting it in and kind of lining it up. What I like to do is I like to take the actual part. It always works out better for me. I take a drill bit, and I take some tape. I tape up the drill bit, and I just leave the end exposed so that when I'm drilling, I don't, the drill bit doesn't nick against the anodized part. Obviously you want to keep it. So I'll just measure it up like that, drill it, have the pilot holes, which is exactly the same as this, and then from this I then drill the bigger holes to put the inserts in. Okay, this has been quite a job to do properly. All right, so let's run through it. So the steering wheel, this is the 3D printed mock-up. This is probably about 20 mil wider than I want it to be. So we have already changed it slightly, but I think I'm going to go down a little bit more just to give myself some more space so that Caleb's hands can clear this section a little bit easier. I mean, it's going to be close. Then what I did is I just used our shaft and I just hot glue gunned the shaft directly into this. And then that is 5 mil space from there to there is where the quick release ends. So there's this pin quick release that goes in here. So in other words, Caleb can get in here, clip it off and take it out. But the movement is good. And the paddle's good. Try and get in here to show you. So there's more than enough room for the paddle shift. I'm probably going to change this paddle shift design. I was watching the some F1 footage the other day, and they've got a single mount position here with the paddle shift that goes down. So yeah, that's going to get redesigned. But as you can see, turns beautifully there, it just goes there. And that's only one mount so far, and I mean, if you take that one mount, there is no play, nothing whatsoever. So that's why we made it the way we made it. And yeah, that is an absolute wrap on that one.